Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to 2 Point Museum. Everything is gone. It's okay though, because there's a reason for it. We're redeveloping Memento Mile today. We have a gift shop over here, which is the end goal really, where our guests are going to be forced through before they can exit the museum. And that's because I'm probably going to staff this area off so that the helipad entrance is staff only. And the entrance is now developed, it's here. We've got two little ticket kiosks here, and then they go through a one-way system into the main body of the museum. Now, this area here, which has been already kind of filtered off by the devs as they created the level, is going to become my new ice box, basically. We're going to make this the cold zone, and we want to kind of create a little corridor that comes through here. So I'm going to come down from here. We've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. So we'll do the other side there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then come in and then siphon that off like that. That means people are going to go in one area and then come out the other one. So we're going to just remove this little patch here so we can probably fit another exhibit in there. Then we'll put in a door, one way going that way and another way coming out. Perfect. So people can go in that area and come out the other way. And then this space here will kind of be more exhibits. We can put more in here, and I kind of want this area to become a little bit of a different space. So when people come in, they're going to be kind of forced around in a circular area. So, well, a corridored space, basically. So let's remove this for now. That's not where I want to go with it. So I want to go out this way, I guess. And then we'll come out in this space as well. So it all kind of opens up. Then we'll have a little corridor that comes to here. And this will be my staff spacing. So we'll go to here and then to here, where the windows go, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And maybe we'll angle it instead. Or no, we'll just go straight down. Or we'll go an angle and then a drop like that. Yeah, that works. So let's just do the same on this side. An angle like that. I think it was 2. And then 1 singular going in. Then we'll put another staff door on the angle so that staff can access that little corridor and get to where they need to be. Then we will put in a new wall that goes... we'll have it open up into this area, I guess, because I really don't want windows to be an issue. So we'll leave that staff door there. They can go into this space here. And then this whole space is going to be blocked off for staff only. So I think that's a decent angle there. Coming all the way along to here. Maybe just to there. Then it's going to angle again to here. And then to here, and we'll put another staff door in right there. Good, so now my staff have access to the helipad. We've got a little bit of a chunk there, and then a few more spaces opening up quite nicely. Then, I guess what we want is to kind of force people through a one-way system to get into the depths of the museum. So, we'll have them go into a space, and I don't like the kind of acute angling on some of the spaces. So we can have them go in here. In fact, what we'll do is we'll put our exhibits in first. I think that's probably going to be the best thing to do. So we want to start off with, they're going to see the disc fossil. Now the disc fossil, I don't believe we have actually unlocked completely because we can't get it where we need to be. So we'll place the first disc fossil right there. Then we've got a star fossil. Although actually, if we have a look, do I have another disc fossil? Have a quick look. Let's see what we've got that's pristine. We've got a honeybee there. Let's put this back for now. So we have a honeybee. We have a star fossil. We have a Sharpontops skeleton. These are all the pristine exhibits that we currently have in our possession. We've got a Boulderdillo. We've got a frozen cave person, frozen fridge, frozen beehive. These are all epic. We've got the right footprint fossil, which I know we haven't unlocked further, and then we've got a lanternfish fossil, which we also haven't unlocked further. We've got a pristine disc fossil, so we have unlocked that, maxed out pristine. We've got another Boulderdillo skeleton, We've got a star fossil as well that's maxed out. We've got the twisted torso, which is a sponsored exhibit. We've got a Sharpontop skeleton. Boulderdillo is already in there. The star fossil is already in there. The honeybee was pristine, but that needs something that we require to unlock the dragonfly. So we're not going to put that in. We're going to go with the epic honeybee. Then we have a helix fossil, which I don't think we have a maxed out pristine one. Oh, we do. There it is. Helix fossil. Then we've got the frozen stuff. We've got the ambered giga gecko as well, which we can put down. Then it's a case of adding in the stuff that we don't have quite complete. The Phlapadactyl we don't have. We've got a frozen cave person, which will be the first exhibit or one of the exhibits that goes in this new space. Then we also have a frozen fridge and a frozen beehive. So we've got a second frozen fridge here, which is going to go in here on an angle like this. And then we can also add in the frozen beehive on an angle there as well. Good, right, so that's the kind of frozen exhibit place put in. And then we've got the Phlapadactyl, which we haven't yet complete, but we will put that in as well because that will be completed naturally through expeditions. So now we just need to find some space to put all of this stuff in. And I'm of a mind, right, if we just fence off this space here. So this is kind of like going to be a staff-only area for now. This is where we will continue development of the museum. And we are just forcing people into this space here where they can see all of the other exhibits that we've got in at the moment. Now, the Sharpontops needs to be near another dinosaur bones exhibit, so we can place this skeleton in here. Then it just needs to go next to some more dinosaur bones in the form of the Boulderdillo skeleton, which can probably just go in this little corner here. Is that now in range? Yes, but it could be once I move this Phlapadactyl out of the way, it drops down. Yes, so that's not quite close enough. So I reckon if we put the Boulderdillo front and center right there, does it then boost the buzz of that area? Yes, it does. And this needs to be near a standing tusk, so we know that that's going to be okay. Now, the helix fossil here needs to be near some hanging amber, which won't be a problem. We'll put the helix fossil right there. Then the right footprint needs to be near a fossil wall mold, so we can place the Bigfoot right there. Then we've got the honeybee. This needs to be near a footprint decal, so that's not a problem at all. And we kind of want to put all of our amber or our honeyed stuff in one location, so we can place the honeybee there. The ambered giga gecko, that needs to be near a hanging amber as well. So if we place this down here, maybe we'll put it right in front of these two windows. That's good. Then we have the star fossil, which needs to be near a layered rock decoration, which we can do with ease. We'll put this here. We're kind of trying to distract people from the staff doors that are behind. So this needs to be near any fossil. So the disc fossil will go right there. And then the lanternfish needs to be near any prehistory decoration. So the lanternfish can kind of go in the middle of the two. And then we need the twisted torso, which just needs to be near a donation stand. I'm going to put the twisted torso in this location here for now. So that can go in the cold zone. Then the Phlapadactyl needs to be near a fossil decal. The Phlapadactyl is quite a big exhibit, so we're going to put this front and center right here. And I think that's a decent little layout to begin with. Then we need to decorate. And the decoration, now that we've got a lot more space, we can place quite a few decorative items in here. Also, we do need to be mindful of what buzz bonuses these areas get. So, hanging amber and a footprint decal. They're the first things we need to put in this area. So, we'll put our hanging amber in the corner there, and then the footprint decal can go underneath because I don't really like them. So, we'll place it underneath this exhibit here and another one underneath that one. And that gives us a soft, an invisible boost to the decoration bonus, and a really nice kind of little touch to put things in that are slightly hidden. I can probably squeeze in a standing tusk behind there, and then we'll put a couple of layered rocks and stuff in, as well as some prehistory rocks, just to finish it off, keeping them on a nice rotation so it doesn't look boring, and then we can frame it all quite nicely with the hanging vines or the leaves, the jungle wall, and that can just kind of go all the way around here. And we'll just put it in nice and tight so it looks like it's this continuous space. That works quite nicely. And then we'll continue this on all the way along here. Because they're going to be found in the jungle, is it going to fit right on the edge there? I don't think so. It's colliding. That's a shame. But we can bring this one all the way along to here. It says it must be placed on a wall. It is on a wall. What are you talking about? Right, okay, so we'll not do this one that goes further along. We'll just delete that, get rid of that, and then we can have a look at what other decorative items we can put in. I reckon because this place is jungly, we can make a little area here where we have a load of plants and stuff in. So we'll just put some green shrubbery in. And we also need to be mindful that we are going to need to put in the basics like an info stand. So I'm going to place a curved info stand right here, and we'll put it on a slight angle down to there. Then we can get a donation stand right in the middle. And let's place a couple of benches. We'll put one here. We'll place another one opposite if we can fit it in. It doesn't look like we can. So what we'll do is we'll just create a little bit of a space here with the cargo benches. And that's quite a nice little area that's now been pretty much fully decorated. Let's have a look at the maxed out there. Maxed out there. Perfect. Then if we go to our foundations of outdoory stuff, let's have a look. We got some terrain here. We can place a little bit of dirt all over, I think, hopefully. No? Is this just giving me outdoor stuff? Yes, it's terrain, so I can't actually use that, but we can use some indoor tiles here. So we've got some straw floor. We've got, what else can we place down? I want like a dirt looking area here. So we've got some grassland bedding. We've got grass floor. We've got jungle bedding. That's decent. We can use that. So we'll go with jungle coming into here. We could maybe just go all the way around and just frame this little space. And then we can put maybe some patches of dirt in. So if we go to there for that, and then we'll just fill in the hole. We can put some fallen leaves and stuff in and around. Let's have a look at what we can do for line placement here. We'll do a little line there of fallen leaves. Nah, I don't think that works. We'll go back then, put that back. That's just grass. It's the jungle that I want. Then I guess we can put in some little patches of dirt if there is a bare dirt area. But we can actually use the ancient hexagonal tiles here as a frame going all the way around. That'll be nice. So we'll just do a line of them. Perfect. And then I'll go with a line that cuts this all off, maybe, to there. And then here we can maybe come out a little bit, go to there, and then another one that cuts across to frame that, and then we'll go to there so that that space is framed as well. Yeah, I think that works quite nicely. And then we need dirt. There's still nothing that I can find that is dirt by the looks of things. I'm probably missing it because I'm rushing a little bit. Oops, and I've just placed that for some strange reason. Let's put that back. But that'll do for now. I guess we can cope with a little bit of a janky looking setup in there, but that's decent. That works quite nicely. Then what I'm going to do is, because I've got this, we'll put this flooring all the way around here. So we've got a line. No, it's not a line. A line placement going in here. And then all the way around, just giving us a nice frame for our prehistory exhibits. And they can cut over to here, coming through here, down to there. I think I've messed that one up. Let's just have a look. Get my dropper in again. Yeah, it looks like the line placement doesn't quite... Yeah, that's better. And it has actually gone inside here and taken over my entrance a little bit. This is where things are likely to go a little bit skew with, but there we go, we got that sorted. Then we'll go back to our dropper and we'll come along to here with this and then going up to there. We'll get the line tool sorted out for that space because this needs to go across here. Whoops. Line placement. There we go. And along. No, it's doing it again. I keep forgetting to reset it every time I do it. So there we go. Right, that's better. Line tool coming to here. And then it's going to cut over there. And because we've got some stuff in the corner here, I think it's probably best that we manage that more appropriately. So we'll cut over to here and then behind and then going back down again to there. And then the final one will go in that space. Perfect, right. So we just need to do some adjustments here, tidying up this space. Line tool again, making sure that I don't mess up the work that I've already done. And then at the back here, I think was our last one. Great, so we've mapped out a little bit of space there. I think that might not be looking too good. That's better. Right, so this space here, obviously we've got that helix fossil in there. We're probably going to change that a little bit to the jungle looking stuff, or maybe we go with some desert or fallen leaves. I think jungle is probably the best thing to do here. And we'll just get the triangle tool. Now, where is that? There's a little triangle placement tool here. We'll put this in like that, and we'll have this go all the way around to finish off there. And maybe we can just do a little bit of adjustment here and have this come to there, and then just triangle all of this bit off. And then we can maybe cover this bit up with plants and things. Yeah, that works. So we give it a little plant in there. That's fine. Good. And then obviously we've got some stuff that we need to do in the main body of the museum. And this is basically where everything kind of is at risk of going horrifically wrong. But we are going to press play. We are going to allow these people to kind of walk around as we decorate. Let's go down to our flooring again, and I'll just finish that off like that. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I needed the triangle placement. Let's go to this, get our triangle placement back, fill in that hole there, and fill in this hole there. I think that's a little bit better. So it looks a little bit messy, but it's fine for now. It would be nice if there was like I don't know how to describe it really. You kind of need a tool that allows you to just do like a little bit of a mess of things. That's the best way I can describe it. Like an organized mess of where you want these triangles to be. But I think that works for now. So we got some marble squares that we can put in. These marble squares look a little bit more all over the place, which I think is quite nice, but they're not doing the job for me at the moment. So let's just get this selected and we'll go back to our triangle placement and we'll fill this in. Right. So we'll cut back a little bit and just have this right like that, and then like that, and then get rid of that. Yeah, we'll go back to that. That works. Then we have a dilemma on our expedition. We've also got some stuff melting that we don't really want. There seems to be no end to the snowfall, which has formed an icy barrier that makes your route impassable. Now, we can slide down because we've got survey skills, which reduces our expedition time. Perfect. Right, over here, we need to reduce the temperature in this space, so we're going to take a freezer, and we're going to place the freezer right here, and we'll put another one in the opposite corner right there. So that makes that area nice and cold, and that will stop our exhibits melting. The temperature is now perfectly fine. Great. Then, over here, the helix fossil needs to be near a hanging amber decoration, so we will put in a hanging amber decoration. That is an easy thing to do. We'll place it right in the corner there, and that fulfills another objective. I'm then going to change the decoration of this poster, and we'll place it in the corner here, like that. Then we can put in a couple of ferns, another tusk at the back here, facing over there. And I'm going to put a tusk on that side and a tusk on that side to kind of highlight the staff door. Then we'll place a little bit of greenery behind. Is that going to fit? No, not quite. That one does. And is there anything else we can put in? I mean, we can put in this little palm tree. That'll do. Boosts the buzz there. And then we can put in a couple of rocks and stuff that look like they've fallen down or are misplaced and just jutting out a little bit. We're just trying to cover up the little bits in this corner here that interfere with guest enjoyment, or not really guest enjoyment, it's my enjoyment. Then we put an info stand right here. Kind of don't want it to be so like obscuring everything, so we'll just put it on a slight angle there. Then we'll put the donation stand down here, and that nestles it quite nicely in that corner. Now, because we've done that, we can actually then look at our flooring and put in a little bit more of a line coming from here into that space, and then it almost covers some things up and leaves a little bit of space there, where we've got this little cutaway, and we'll go all the way over to here with that. And that looks now a lot better. I might move that info stand because I don't quite like where it is. If we have the hanging info stand now, which I don't believe we do, we have a quick look. These are the hanging info stands, I think. Hanging, wall info stand, hanging info stand. That's the one that I want. So we can place this right in the corner here somewhere. I'll just put it there for now. Then we'll get rid of that one. And then we'll place the hanging one right here. Now that looks much better, and we get the info boost. Great. So this Helix fossil is now fully buzzed out, and then we've got the prehistory one here. Then we're going to have a look at Sharpontops. Now Sharpontops needs to be near, this one needs to be near a standing tusk, so let's put in a standing tusk. Do we have our expedition back yet? Not quite. So standing tusks are going to go here, we'll put one there, and we'll put another one there, and we'll do the same opposite it to create a nice little frame for this. I think we might need to come in a little bit with these ones, just to there, and we'll do the same with this, all the way down. Yeah, that's looking good. Then at the back, we could have a look at what else we can place down. I think there'll be, well, we'll put this in. Nice. Then we can place down a few other items. We've got a standing tusk, which we've done. We've got museum columns, which we'll place a couple of museum columns there. Then we'll put in some desert rocks, just dotted around here. Is that going to interfere too much? No, it just about fits in. There's a collision there. We'll put another load of desert rocks there. And then I guess we could put some little palm trees and things in as well. So this kind of looking like an oasis of some description. So I think that works quite nicely. I mean, palm trees indoors, probably not the greatest invention in the world, but we'll also then put this wonky palm tree in here. So we're kind of creating a little desert oasis here where the Boulderdillo skeleton is. And then we've got the Sharpontops here, which does have all of its bonuses fulfilled. But to flesh out the area where it is, we're going to put some jungle walls in at the back here, and I'll just try and prevent, you know, we want to try and get that in as close as possible, and we'll do the same with this one. Just bring it up so that it's really quite close by, and that is looking pretty good. Now what that does allow us to do then is turn this into more of a jungle biome because of all of the stuff that's in there. So what we'll do first then is we'll put another, not a curved info stand. I think we want a hanging wide in, that's a wide wall info stand. We'll unlock that and we'll place that somewhere else. But we also, there's some wide hanging info stands somewhere, I think. That's the one. So we'll place this one right here. And then I'll put some smaller ones. We'll put one here. And we'll put another one here that kind of marks out the Sharpontops skeleton. Then we'll put a donation bin right there. I'll place another one right here maybe, or down the back. Yeah, that works. And then we'll put another one just here. Lots of donation stands going up. We're probably going to need to put in some more benches. So we'll place a angled bench right here. Put one there and another one behind it. Like that. And then I think we can probably make this a little bit of a seating area. That goes there. Wonderful. That works out quite nicely. I'm then going to put a temple throne in just for the hell of it. We'll put the temple throne in there. No, not there. There's somewhere where we can definitely fit that. But for now, let's have a look then. We'll go back to our jungle floor and we'll place this all the way down to here. And we've got the desert rocks though, so maybe we need to change this to more of a desert-y area. We'll put a line tool that goes to here. Then we'll have it cut up to here and then finish off there. Then we'll get our fill tool and we'll fill in that space there. We'll fill in there. Okay, good. Now, is there anything deserty or sandy that we can make use of? We've got the straw floor. If I just type in sand, no, what about desert? There we go. Right, we've got some desert bedding here. I don't really know what that's going to look like. If we take that up to there, That doesn't look too bad. A little bit weird, but if we then use some triangle placement to make a bit more of a space here. And then have it cut inside a little bit. That's not too bad, but it's not exactly the look I'm going for. I think I'd rather it was a bit tidier. But I think it'll do for now. Let's just get some line placement that looks a little bit mazy and all over the place coming in here. Like this. And then I can put another triangle placement in here. And then another one that kind of comes out a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And then we'll get another line placement here that goes out into the museum a little bit more. And it kind of gives it this little bit of an effect. Let's add in a new triangle placement here that goes all the way up. We want it to kind of finish everything off in this space. Yeah, that works out pretty well. Got a little desert oasis there where the Boulderdillo is. Sharpontops can stay as is, and we end up with this little oasis in the middle of our museum. Right, the right footprint. They need to be near a fossil wall decal. That'll be easy. That goes in there, and that goes in on the other side. We'll then place some hanging amber right next to it. Probably here. So we're starting to get quite a bit of a buzz boost going on. We've got our info stands, we've got our donation bins. We're going to open this crate now. It's a pristine frozen fridge. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Now, let's dump that in the inventory, open our inventory again, and find the pristine fridge. Where is it? There it is. Not quite sure what it needs to be beside. We'll just make sure that it goes into the middle. And then we'll have a look what it needs to be near. Any prehistory decoration, that needs to be near a snowy pillar, and that needs to be near any prehistory decoration. So you can see we're really starting to create these tiny little zones for all of our guests, and things are looking pretty nice. What I do want to do, though, is when they do come in, they'll have this little row of exhibits, and I'm going to place a coffee kiosk. Now, the coffee kiosk is really good. It gives us a boost to energy, I think. It does decrease toilet comfort, but it's also a source of coffee for our staff. It does increase drink, and it increases energy. So we're going to place our coffee kiosk right here next to this staff door, and then we're going to go back to our flooring here, and we're just going to copy this. We're going to get our line tool, and we're going to have this come out a little bit more and go there. Then we can fill in the little gap right there, and I think I may have just used the fill tool to fill in that, so we might as well do that as well. And all the way through that little space as well. Good. Right, that works out quite nice. I don't think this is appropriate, though. So let's just quickly grab our jungle flooring and have this kind of cover the entrance like that. And then we'll have it go one out and another one out. And then a line tool coming in. And then a line tool coming out. Like that. And then back in. Oh no, we don't like that. What about in this way? Yeah, that works. Yes, I quite like that. And then the jungle will continue on. And they kind of end up with this jungle path. That'll take them all the way through our zone. And then it goes up to the kiosk. We'll put an angle in, put an angle out. And it can go right up to the edge there, so we've got this little carpet of jungle. I mean, they're not going to use the path, as you can see, but it gives us at least a kind of basic level of where we would like our guests to start going. And then we'll come up to there, then they can go off on their travels down to this space here. Don't know if that is the best route for them, but yeah, that works out quite nicely. Then we'll remove where's my, let's have a look. We want to change it again. If we just get my dropper tool here and find the triangle placement, we'll go here and we'll go here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Then I want to grab one more. We're going to copy the jungle flooring, and that is then going to take us all the way to the gift shop. So we know we want it to come out here, and then we'll get our line tool again, and it can go this way and that way. Okay, good. And the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my triangle tool, and we're going to go to there, and we're going to go to there. Right, so that is the basic kind of layout now. I've obviously got some more decorative things to do. We want to fill out the ice thing. That'll all be done when we come back for our next episode. But for now, I'm going to finish filling in the flooring because I think we need to make sure that everything has its own place. And we'll come back and carry on developing this. I'm going to, you know, max out the prestige level on all of the other exhibits for the current areas that we've got. And then I will see you for the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.